Today, we're playing City Skylines 2. I'm NaCl Machine, and together, we're going to embark on a journey to build and nurture a brand new city. Welcome to Frostville. Tucked away between picturesque mountains and a babbling brook, Frostville is a region ready to flourish under our careful planning and creative vision. The inhabitants of this budding town are eager for our progress, and our role as the city's mayor is crucial in shaping their dreams into a reality. To build a successful city, our first steps are going to be crucial. We're first going to begin by laying out our road network. We want to make sure we connect our neighborhoods, but we also don't want to cut too much into the natural beauty of the surrounding area. As we pave our way for our citizens, our initial focus will be establishing those first residential zones. As we're doing that, we're going to need to meet the needs of our growing population. We'll also start setting the stage for our commercial zones. We'll offer a variety of services and goods to everyone. Those businesses are also going to need to get their goods from somewhere, so we're going to work on placing an industrial area, making sure not to impact the environment too much. We'll have to put these far away and keep in mind of the pollution. The essential city services will also need to be planned out, from education and healthcare to waste management and all of our emergency services. We're going to lay in the groundwork for a well-functioning city center. Hello, everyone. I am super excited to introduce you to our new town, Frostville. This is going to be the region's name. We're going to have plenty of small districts kind of spread around. The first district that we're going to be creating here is going to be Crystal Springs. That's going to kind of be our urban area. It's going to kind of encompass, this whole area here between the two winding rivers. We're also going to be potentially later setting up what's called Meadow Haven. That's going to be our rural area. We're going to have some farmland out there, maybe the industrial area. But first things first, we need to get our first road established here. And we are not Pearl Street. We're actually going to name this one Arctic Boulevard. And with that, we need to start planning things. So I want to go ahead and check out the topography here. We've got some little bit of hilly area, but it's honestly not too bad. I do want to do a little bit of leveling here, just as I would expect, this community to kind of, pre-plan a little bit. I don't want to come out too much and change it all too much. But like right here, this is going to be a little bit of a problem. We might actually kind of follow this line all the way to the coast here. Or we could potentially kind of bridge off right here. You can see there we've got a pretty steep hill. But Arctic Boulevard, I think what we're going to want to do is kind of follow this coast here. Or sorry, this elevation. We'll bring it out right to maybe here. Then we'll straighten out, trying to not keep the grade too extreme. And I think that looks pretty good there. And this will allow us to kind of continue this way. Long term, we'll be able to hook back up to this highway. But I think that's a good way to do things right at the start. Secondarily, I would love to get some maybe houses down in this area. So maybe we'll kind of follow along this here. We can kind of follow. I want that zoning to kind of be a little closer to the water. We'll do something like this. I would also kind of expect a community to be up here quite easily. Maybe we'll bring it out like this, as well as maybe a nice straightaway here. Gonna come out to there maybe. How's that look? I'm curious what our grading's gonna be here. Let's see here. 3.6. I think that's doable. Something. Yeah, let's make sure that we get these aligned real nice. And we want to get a small curve in here, but first let's bring this out like this. And I don't think that, no, that should work out just fine there. We'll also run it along, I really like this elevation here. It's a nice thick elevation that we can work with. And it's probably going to continue on this way. Ideally, we're going to have to get up here at some point. What would be our slope here? 6.5%. That's not great, but it's also not terrible. But I could see this kind of coming along from this elevation here. That's kind of going to match up with that there. So yeah, we can see that we're at 9% there. That's not at all what we want to be working with. We're going to do a little bit of contouring here. Just a small amount. Just to see if we can't get this to be a little friendlier for us. Bring it out to here. 8.5, 6.8. I think we can live with that. I want to try and respect our topography as often as we can. I think that just adds to a city and really just, you know, it'll make it look a lot more natural. So we'll kind of get our first grid set up here. There we go. And actually what I would like to do here, we need to make sure that we're snapping to our zone grid. We're not going to snap to our cell length. If we do it like this, yeah, that's going to ensure that we've got nice even grids along there. Yeah, so then we'll have 2 in the middle. Our grid coming out is actually not ideal. So we might have to do a quick change here. We want to make sure that this is an actual grid. Okay, there we go. Sometimes you don't want to use those intersections in order to create your perfect grid there. And then what we're going to want to do is actually upgrade this on this side so that we know we have the proper placement of this grid size here. And then we can go ahead and connect this back up to our grid over here. Just bring that in real nice. That'll work for us. So we did 24. We can probably... Oh, I was about to say, what the heck are we doing here? We'll do our 24 again here. We'll go 24 here. And I want to bring it up here. That's only going to be 7%. I'm fine with 7%. This here, we're going to want to put some manual sloping in. As well as, where's our 24 going to be? 24 is going to be here. Now this is a little bit aggressive. I'm not sure if we're going to keep that in there, but I'm going to put it there just in case. Yeah, this is 16. Maybe I should have done 14. No, you know what? I'm going to stick with the 16. We're just not going to be able to use the grid tool. And you know what? That's okay. Okay, I had to fix up the name Arctic Boulevard because it was not being very happy without this little stub out here. Eventually, we will go through and name all of these streets, and I've got some rough names written down, but I don't have any particular initial idea for them yet. So first things first, we do need to get water, and we also need to get power in here. I always like having a signature building, kind of like this water tower when you're entering a town like this. I think it would look real nice, kind of like right out here. And it doesn't change our elevation too much. I should be able to just kind of pull this out a little bit and we'll smooth it. And then we will have a little maintenance road that comes off of it that I think will hook in. See, probably makes the most sense from like over here. I think that looks pretty nice for now. We'll just call this water access lane, I guess is fine. And eventually we'll turn off those crosswalks there. I think those aren't very needed. So we've got water. We're also going to need to set up ourselves a sewage outlet. So the water is flowing down this way. For now, we'll just run something here. Maybe get a little road that's just going to run along the river access here. And we'll have this continue to run. And then we'll hook it up. About here. Yeah, I think that looks pretty nice. So in addition to that, we're also going to need to potentially worry about power. We do have some wind potential here. I'm not sure I want to go about the wind just yet. Do we want to go wind? I think what we're going to do, I think we're just going to import our power right off the bat. Speaking of wind, we do need to look at our air pollution. And our air pollution is pretty heavily going this way. So realistically, we're going to want the industrial area to kind of be up here, which is not ideal. Or we'll have like a split off over here. I do think I would like to get the industrial across the river at some point, but it's not going to happen right away. So power-wise, I think we're just going to have to deal with it for now. I'm going to put a grid in up here real quick. Okay, so now that we've got a pretty solid established grid, I think what I want to get developed first is probably a small residential community up here. And this is where this legacy mod comes in. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. I'm so happy with the legacy mod. And my zoning got screwed up somewhere, so I do need to redo this. Okay, I know why it does that, but I never remember how to do it correctly. So first off, I want to get some targeted houses here. And I immediately broke my own rule, which is try and keep all the houses kind of in the same orientation here. What I would prefer to do is kind of keep those houses out like this. We'll go like that. Let all of these get built in properly. There we go. Demolish that one so we can get some proper sized houses in. And we'll do the same thing right here. Very nice. And we do need a small transformer in. We'll just put that out by this right here. We'll just get a transformer hooked up. That's going to be just a temporary use there for now. And while these build, I do want to get a few homes in over here. I want to block off our zones from this side because I do want everything built facing this main road, and immediately they're going to say no, every single one of them, which is fine. So I'll go ahead and do this the old-fashioned way, which is just putting down the zones like that. We'll let those populate in, and eventually we will put those roads back in. And honestly, what we should do is put these roads in, give ourselves these secondary. I should download, I do believe there is a mod out there that does allow you to place any zones you do so desire. And you can like turn on and off zoning for certain properties. And I think that's a mod I'm definitely going to want to look into at some point. But for right now, that's not really needed. We do have some terrain challenges here, which I don't think, oh, that is not how you use the slope tool properly, which I'm not sure I noticed on a first glance. So we might have a few challenging roads here and there. Like this one, I just don't think that road's going to work for me. I think it's just a little bit too sharp. So maybe in here we can put through a pedestrian connection. And I think it'll be fine. You know, sometimes you do have to deal with the terrain you have, and it just so happens that it's a little bit more of an aggressive hill here. And what might be kind of fun is to get this zoned like this, and maybe we can even put in a key wall here. We'll see. So we managed to get ourselves a pretty nice looking little retaining wall back here. And I think maybe what we can do with this at some point is maybe turn this into like a small community park or something of that nature. Let's let these people move back into their homes. And we'll go ahead and see if we can't get our targeted zoning to work the way we want it to here. Okay, we're going to get homes on the side of the house, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. Probably the same for this one, too, honestly. Yep. And by old-fashioned way, I mean the most frustrating way in City Skylines 2. But you know what? We'll place our houses in, and then we'll get these placed in here. Now, I'm almost wondering if this whole wall should be key-walled. It is just, I don't think it should be. I think maybe what we actually need to do is bring these zones back. And speak of the devil, we are a tiny village. Our efforts are bearing fruit, and your city has taken its first steps towards success. That gives us access to some loans, some additional map tiles, our city budget. We've got some statistics. We get our access to our first medium density here. And we get a few extra roads and finally some city services. We've got healthcare as well as garbage management. So I do think that we might go the 4s here. I think that'll allow us to just have a little bit nicer of plots here. And as for the row housing, I think we're going to get a few targeted row houses in here. Maybe followed by a couple shops across the street. Put a couple shops in here. And then we'll get some more row homes in. Now we do definitely need to start thinking about our industrial sector. And do we have access to our... We don't have access to natural resources until we get to the large village. So I really don't want to be taking up much more land outside of the starting tile until we have more access to it. And potentially what we could do is, our main issue right now is definitely our wind pollution. We really don't want too much industrial here. Where I'm planning on putting industrial is going to be over here, or potentially over here. We're going to go ahead and buy these 2 tiles over here. I think we're just going to do it. And while we don't have access to our highways yet, we do have 1 development point, and we are going to get our advanced road services. We want to do a couple small things with those, namely get rid of those crosswalks there. That was our first thought. Definitely don't want those crosswalks there. So yeah, we've got a couple plants here. We've got a wood and a vegetables. Wait, I'm sorry. We've got a food, a furniture, and a timber. So, I mean, those are going to pollute, I believe. Yeah, they do pollute a wee bit there. So we don't want to keep those there long term. But that's why we're trying to get over to this area. And our industrial compound, I think it's okay if we do a little bit of terraforming here. Maybe not as much as just happened. I think we'll kind of smooth this out a wee bit. But I do think it's okay for us to have a bit of terraforming done. And I just want to follow along this grid line here. Get ourselves a nice little cut in. And let's bring this whole road up here. And we'll have this go out straight. Okay, that's going to be our first industrial area. And it will connect to the highways once we get the highway roads. But for now, it is mostly just kind of chilling as a industrial connection here. So eventually we will get a highway that will come off like this. And this will be our local road that kind of connects in over here. Is it better to prioritize this movement? The river road? I don't think so. Because I think we're also going to want an intersection that kind of comes off of this one. Something along the lines of this without that chaos. So I would like to curve it in. Actually, that is not safe. You want to build it out. I want to come out like this, and then I want to kind of find my zone. And that's just really nice. It does sometimes do really stupid zoning. I don't necessarily understand why. But if they zone that way, they zone that way. That's all right. And honestly, these roads should line up, shouldn't they? These roads should definitely line up. But I don't think they're going to. I think they're there to kind of look like they should line up. I think we will do something like this, though. Doesn't have to line up perfectly. But it'll look intentional, but I don't think it's good to have that in there. So we'll delete this out of here. Our industrial area is now started. You do have to come this way, and it is cul-de-saced. But once we get to our next city size, that will be good. We also need somewhere to put our city dump. And honestly, the industrial area is going to be perfect for that. And I do like that the trees are here. What do we have? We have birches. It's all birches. It's all birches with a few oaks scattered in. So we'll get some more birches kind of scattered about throughout here. I think this would be really popular. You really don't want to see this stuff when you're driving down the highway. So we'll put some of these in, and maybe a few hickory trees if those can get placed in as well. So once those all grow up, it'll give us a little bit more hide from this area. We've got grinder rock. Interesting. Let's do a little bit of terraforming here. I just want this to level off just a wee bit more. I'm just kind of pulling all of this down here, and then we'll smooth it out. Make it look a bit more natural. There we go. Now you can barely tell it's kind of this little pit we've got going on over here. I can't stand the rain, so we might have manually turned it off, and the rain does not help YouTube with YouTube compression either. We can go ahead and dezone these uses here. Those are not the type of uses we want kind of sitting around up here for too long. We do have some more demand for some residential, so we'll get some people in here, and this is the wrong type of residential. So we'll get these ones in, and maybe due to the terrain, we'll go a little bit shorter. Just to help people kind of move in a little bit easier. Now, first things first, I love to put these little bushes in. Not at this frequency, maybe like a 10 meter. We use our fence tool here. See if we can't get this last one in. And yeah, those bushes are going to look real nice going along this. We'll be all right. Oh, it's because this whole thing is fenced. I don't want the whole thing fenced. Now I'm starting to understand what I did wrong. And there we go. We've got a nice little park behind this area. We'll maybe do something like that for this. I just wanted to get a little bit more demand and kind of see what we're working with here. And of course, this is not what we want. We want to have a building here as well as a business here. And we might as well, I think we're probably going to have some normal size homes here. Let's actually bring them one tick smaller. We'll put them in there now while we've got that road deleted. Got some high rent issues here. We don't have the low rent housing yet, so we're not going to worry about that now. We do have some health care, and I think what would be a nice spot for maybe some city services would be in this area here. It's a little bit bigger of a square. We might be able to even take out maybe this or this, maybe this, and just get a little bit more access. We do want the people to have close proximity here. What does our terrain look like here? It's relative. This is way flatter. I feel like this would be a better spot for it. It's a little bit the ways away from the mainland, which is kind of giving me a slight pause here. It would be ideal for some of these emergency services to have quick access to these roads, but I don't think that's completely necessary, because I think this is, which is right now Lindenberg Street, is actually going to be a quite important street in our city. It does lead straight down here. This could end up being another collector. So this one is going to be our second name street. We're going to call this Frostberry Street. And Frostberry eventually, I think, will turn into a much more important community street. Just want to back this off just a little bit on the off chance that we do upgrade this road. And for now, we can just put a little bit of landscaping right next to it. Let's bring this up to maybe like 10 meters here. We'll just kind of put some landscaping around this business here. Make it look nice. We'll take this one just here, and we'll give it a little path kind of coming off behind it. Oop. There we go. And then next to that, eventually we're going to get like our police center, in addition to some other city services, which we don't currently have. I think maybe some birches kind of lining this at... Let's get a few more homes in here. I think we'll vary these ones in size a little bit. There we go. Some of those houses are going to populate in now. We do have a little bit more need for industrial, so let's go ahead and zone some of that in. I think we can get a industrial building in right next door over here, and maybe a large one in here as well. Okay, we've got some nice normal houses coming in here. What I would like to do, I think, would be to get... Let's see, we can't get in the center here, so let's just manually get in the center. We'll put a nice little road that kind of connects the back of those two. Not sure that is completely necessary, but I think it'll look nice in the long run. We've got some more business requests here. Let's go ahead and get in a few of these guys. We'll grant them permission. I'm hoping this one's going to build on this street so I don't have to do my delete. Let's get in a few. Oh no, we don't have to do delete. That is fantastic news. Now I do want to start getting some use over here, but I really would like to get this upgraded to ourselves a small village, because that's where the schools come in. And then eventually we'll be able to get fire and police when we get to the next size village. So we can just keep zoning in people, and I think I'm going to have just normal residential use here. This one I actually do want to undo because I think, let's see, if we can't, I would love to put like a key wall here, actually.
Few moments later. 346 minutes later. Thousands of tears later.
Okay, I give up. Key walls are stupid and useless. There we go. So Garland Street's got some nice property on it. Put a slightly bigger house here, followed by maybe 2 smaller ones. Let those develop in down here. Okay, we are back here. Only left for about a minute or so there, but we do have some more demand for things, which is nice. We've got some demand for some of these other additional row houses, which is great because we can fit in one here as well as one there conveniently. We also have our demand is up for some of the regular sized houses. So I think I want to space these out a little bit more. So this is a small village. Congratulations, you're moving ahead very nicely. We get access to taxation. We get some medium density housing. We get our first elementary and high school. So like I said, I think we're just going to start with our elementary school. It unfortunately doesn't fit, but it would fit right about here. Does that mean it would fit in between? No, it does not, unfortunately. Because I don't want it right up against the road. I want it like here. And what we can do is get ourselves a little road here. Let's come like right here into this zone. Try and minimize how much zone we're taking. We did unlock our new roads. As much as I want to set up my parking lots, I'm going to get my highways because I think it's important for the highways to be set up over here. Now, over here, I'm just going to do something, I think, fairly simple.
So that was a fucking lie.
Holy guacamole, did that take forever? But my goodness, is that a good-looking off-ramp? Is that a good-looking interchange or what? We've got a little bit of landscaping to do. We've got a little bit of cleanup we need to do, especially on some of these edges. We're gonna have to put plenty of trees in and really make this look good. Maybe see if we can't get rid of some of the small stuff here, like, you know, just we got a pretty steep grade right here. I believe I saw like 8.5, which obviously not ideal, but it's also not the end of the world for trucks. You don't want to be like super duper high. Also, we do need to grade this coming in. But overall, I'm pretty happy with where we ended up there. I think it looks quite good, and in time, it will. It's really going to add to the function of the city here. So let's see. Yeah. So here we've got another 7.5 grade. not the end of the world here. And that will allow plenty of trucks to get in and out of the city. That's going to allow some residents, if they want an alternative off-ramp, to get over here. And I think that will be important as our industrial area grows. Eventually, this might also come off to the other side. We might have a second interchange here, perhaps even completely change out this interchange. But we're doing much better. And, you know, while we were doing that, we did lose a lot of money. If we look at our city statistics here, the money... Have we only been here for a month? I was about to say. If we look at our money here, and I guess it has only gone down about $100,000, but we do have a lot more that we do need to build. And our goal here is to get to this third village here. We need to continue to grow. Continuous growth, the economy must feed. So what are we looking for here? We're looking probably to get some more businesses in. I think those can probably come in over here. Now, we do have a pretty solid need for some more residential. And I do like spacing these out a little bit more, kind of breaking up that monotony. You've got some ridiculous lines back here. So sorry, guy, you're going to have to move out. And maybe we'll even have this one be a much smaller house. I think just breaking up those lines really adds a lot to the look of the city. I'm thinking down here we'll start to see some increased density. That might look kind of nice. Let's get our first building in here. I don't want it to be too tall because I don't want it to tower over. We'll see what this looks like, and we'll surround it with a couple of row homes. Maybe get a little business in next to these, and follow that up with some more row homes. Let's get some variation in the row house sizes here. And I like the long one being the edge of the property. So we'll put ourselves a little path around this home. And maybe as well we'll get a few small apple trees placed along the side next to it. Let's go 5 meters. Okay, let's go 10 meters. Thinking 3 in there will look nice. There we go. So our first large density house is going in, or sorry, medium density house. We do have the medium density row houses, but as you'll see, this is going to be the tallest building outside of our water tower in the town. So that's something that we do need to keep in mind. We don't have parks yet. That comes at Grand Village. We do have a little bit of need for some more industrial. What did we end up with over here? We did end up with some convenience food, and we've got a chemical plant, or a chemical house. Like, I don't even know what they sell. Like chemicals? I guess that would be useful for these industrial uses to have over here. So let's just put in some larger properties over here. And now that we have taxes, I do think I want to tax the industrial just a little bit more to try and dissuade them from coming into town. We don't really care if they level up and whatnot. We've got some additional increased demand for some more medium density. I would love to get another one of these in here. Perhaps right around here. I'm not sure if a 4x4 is going to be too tall. I think that's going to be too tall. Let's go ahead and not do that. What if we get like a 3x5? Okay, it's a 3x2. That I think will be fine. But now we're going to be adding some height to our city. I think it'll end up looking quite nice. We do need to do lots of landscaping around the school. So why don't we jump into that real quick? right, we did a little bit of zoning, and we did a bit of landscaping, and I'd say that's a pretty nice looking school, wouldn't you? I'd be pretty happy to go here. Looks quite relaxing. It's quite well manicured. Manicured. There we go. Words can sometimes really be hard. And we've got some of our taller buildings completed. I think they're nice. I like this like brownstone building as you kind of come down the road here. You kind of see the increase in density. I do remember now that I did say I wanted Frostberry Street to potentially be upgraded at some point. Obviously, that is looking like it's not going to happen, just based on how I've got this set up here. I'm wondering if there is any merit here to putting in a left turn dedicated lane. I wouldn't want it to go all the way. Maybe just like to right here. Let's grab this. Maybe just do something like that. I'm not sure. I don't know if I like that. What I could do is potentially add a thick sidewalk over here, or maybe a median kind of going down this road. What if we added a median instead on the way in? Kind of the median starts there. We could put trees down the middle of it. Put some grass down. I think we'll just kind of keep it as a simple median and have that dedicated left turn lane in there. I think that's really helpful. Now we do need to continue to grow our population here. And we got the Rock Musician Mansion. A famous rock star lives in this mansion when not on tour. And that is, what is that for? Oh, maybe I just can't tell. But either way, now I've got a Rockstar Musician Mansion, so at some point we'll need that. I think if we can get this cemetery in here. And we had talked about potentially putting the cemetery over here. I'm very curious to see how doable this is. It's going to require a lot of landscaping, that's no doubt. That's no diggity, no doubt. But sometimes you have to do the landscaping if you want it to look good. But I'm not going to worry about it. We also, because of that, I think I clicked away from it so fast. I was so excited. We got Large Village, which is the loan limit, the service budgets, the livestock farming, the stone mining, fire rescue, as well as the police administration. So let's put those uses in. And we had talked about putting them kind of right near the medical clinic. And I do think that is still kind of where we're looking to get these placed. I like the idea of putting maybe a small road in here. That, okay, we'll come out right to here. And we'll put our fire service right up against there. I think that looks really nice there. And then the police service does fit in perfectly here. I think we'll put it just right across the street. And I believe that should... Okay, there's no upgrades for this building. There's no upgrades for this building. This one does have an upgrade, which we might... It's an extent... More patience, not a problem. The ambulance is what we want. So now we've got some police service. We can get ourselves a little bit of pathways put in over here. And we can get ourselves maybe just a couple, maybe a donut shop or something over here would be beneficial. I don't want this business over here. I lied. I'm sorry. That whatever business you were, you're dead now. So now we've got those city services in. We also have access to our natural resources. And you can see here we've got our farmland here. We do have a ton of farmland over here, which is perfect for our industrial area. And the coup de grace is right here, which is, we've kind of got a double slot. for our natural resources. So we'll have to decide, do we want to come over here? This is a fairly flat area. It's very rural. It would be out there. I actually really like the idea of going that way because that would allow this to kind of continue this way and head to the rural. And we'll also have this. So I think in next episode we'll head out there and really try and get the rural set up. And eventually maybe we could hook up over here for some more industrial. Right, and with that, we've got our city services area looking quite nice. I still do need this area to really be filled in a little bit more. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to end up putting here. It'll probably be another city services building. We'll have to see what we unlock as time goes on. Maybe a park maintenance depot or something like that. We also did a little bit more up here. We just kind of got a few of these homes put in that we missed earlier. And I painted a bunch of trees around here to hopefully just kind of grow the environment up here. Let's make sure no painted trees got in our little man-made park. No, that looks good. So yeah, this is where we're at the end of episode 1. Let me know how you're feeling about this. We have to do a bunch of street namings. We've got to do our districts. We've got to get a whole bunch of other stuff going here, but we've got a population of 704. We're doing pretty solid for our first day out here, and we will see you next time. Thanks for watching with us. I've been your mayor, and this is Frostville.